This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Eala fights bravely, falls the defending champ Marino in Ilkley thriller. Alas Pilipinas men defy the odds, outlast Thailand to complete invitational sweep. Obiena falls short in Oslo Bislett Games. No mark for Filipino pole vault star. UE disbands women's volleyball team. Lady Red Warriors rocked by winless season. Sponsor pulls out. Carlos Yulo returns as Asia's gymnastics king. Brings home gold and 3 bronzes. In MLB, Misiorowski stuns in MLB debut. Brewers rookie makes history, exits amid drama 6-0. And joining us in the studio, multi-awarded photographer John Tronco, who captured some of the most memorable images of Filipino conquerors of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 13th of June. Now, here's our roundup. Just in, Eala fought with everything she had, but the experience and power of defending champion Rebecca Marino proved just enough to edge out the Filipina ace in a nail-biting quarterfinal duel at the Lexus Ilkley Open. In a match that had fans on the edge of their seats, Eala gave everything she had against the tall and powerful Rebecca Marino, a Canadian veteran whose serve is as ferocious as her determination. After a roaring start that saw Eala take the opening set 6-1, the young Filipina sensation seemed to be in control. But the veteran Marino had other plans. The Canadian turned the tide with a dominant 6-0 second set, setting the stage for an epic decider. And what a third set it was, with Marino leading 5-4 and holding 3 match points at 40-0. Eala showed unbelievable grit, saving 4 match points in total to level the set. Marino, who came into the tournament as the 8th seed, continues her title defense in Ilkley, while Eala walks away with head held high, earning respect for her gutsy performance against one of the tour's most feared competitors. This was the first ever showdown between Eala and Marino, and it delivered a match to remember. So what's next for the pride of Philippine tennis after a performance that won hearts and respect on the grass courts of Ilkley? Let's stay tuned. Under the bright lights of the Big Dome and with the game on the line, Alas Pilipinas men rose to the moment and made history right in front of an ecstatic hometown crowd. Alas Pilipinas men capped off a perfect run in thrilling fashion, outlasting a tough Thailand side in 5 dramatic sets, 21-25, 25-21, 25-22, 21-25, 15-12 to complete a clean sweep of the invitationals at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Riding the wave of the women's national team's big win against Kazakhstan, the men's squad took the spotlight and matched that energy with heart, hustle, and heroics. Leading the charge, Mark Espejo. The veteran outside hitter unleashed a scorching 31-point performance, including 24 powerful kills, 6 aces, and a block that proved crucial in the closing stretch. Down 9-10 in the 5th, Espejo took over, firing a laser down the line, followed by a pinpoint ace. Then, Bud Budin came through with big-time blocking to turn the tide 12-10. Thailand fought back, but Alas Pilipinas kept their composure. A few final kills and 1 final combo play from Espejo sealed the victory. This win marked their 3rd straight following convincing 4-set wins over Hyundai Capital Skywalkers of Korea and Indonesia's Jakarta Bhayangkara Presisi. But beyond the trophies and wins, this is preparation for a much greater stage. With the 2025 FIVB Men's World Championship set in the Philippines this September, Alas Pilipinas just showed they're not here to participate. They are here to contend. Olympic double gold medalist Carlos Yulo is back home after another stunning run on the Asian stage. Our golden boy brings home with him a gold in floor exercise and 3 bronze medals from the individual all-around vault and parallel bars, proving once more that this Filipino gymnast knows how to deliver under pressure. After a brief homecoming, he will be off to Japan to prepare for the coming Worlds. Needless to say, the Filipino gymnast has once again made the country proud. Meanwhile, it wasn't EJ Obiena's night in Norway. In a night filled with high hopes and big dreams, EJ faced a tough battle in Oslo as the bar proved just out of reach for our Filipino hero. As the Filipino Olympian struggled to make his mark at the Oslo Bislett Games, Obiena skipped the 5.40-meter height and went straight for 5.62 meters. But despite 3 gutsy attempts, he could not clear the bar and ended with an NM, no mark on the scoreboard. For Obiena, it was a stark contrast from last year when he bagged a bronze after a 5.72-meter finish. This performance left fans and supporters longing for a rebound. As expected, the unstoppable Mondo Duplantis dominated once again, clearing a staggering 6.15 meters to claim gold. Greece's Emankil Karalis soared to silver with 5.82 meters, while Australia's Curtis Marshall took bronze with 5.72 meters. On social media, Obiena kept his head high, posting, "For everyone confused on the result, I know heighted. This is sports sometimes. Still, we will be cheering you on in your next competition." In collegiate sports, a shockwave of sadness and shock rippled through the UAP volleyball community as the UE Lady Red Warriors, once a symbol of fighting spirit, were disbanded after a painful winless season and the sudden loss of their main sponsor. In a move that broke the hearts of players and fans alike, UE pulled the plug on its women's volleyball program following a 0-14 campaign in season 87. Only 4 players, Angelica Reyes, Kai Cepada, Van Bangayan, and Bea Zamudio, remained standing after a Monday practice that felt like the end of an era. Former interim coach Alan Mendoza could only express heartbreak, sharing that those who were cut had been the most loyal to the vision of former coach Obet Vital, who himself departed last December. The Lady Red Warriors' long struggle, not reaching the Final Four since season 69 in 2007, reached its saddest chapter yet. With the departure of Cassie Dongallo and others to UP and the sponsorship cut off, the program collapsed under the weight and loss of uncertainty. Yet amid the pain, a small beacon remains. UE President Zosimo Batad vowed that the university would shoulder the tuition and fees of the remaining student athletes until they graduate. It was a night to remember in Major League Baseball. A rookie to watch, Milwaukee's Jacob Misiorowski delivered an unforgettable debut before fans held their breath as he exited to a standing ovation. The 6'7" right-hander, drafted 63rd overall in 2022, was absolutely electric against the St. Louis Cardinals, tossing 5 no-hit innings with 5 strikeouts and lighting up the radar with his stuff. Misiorowski had the Cardinals guessing all night before drama unfolded in the 6th. Now, after rolling his ankle on the mound, Misiorowski left the game under his own power, accompanied by the trainer. The crowd rose to its feet, applauding a performance for the ages, but holding their breath. The Brewers later announced it wasn't an ankle injury after all, but a right calf and quad cramping that cut short his historic debut. And here's the stat that left fans in awe. Misiorowski became just the 3rd pitcher since 1900 to throw 5+ no-hit innings in an MLB debut. With the Brewers' bat rack backing him up, the team jumped to a 6-0 lead in this crucial division clash. And this is just the beginning of a high-stakes 4-game series against St. Louis. Now, moving on to the NBA. For the first time in 25 years, the Indiana Pacers hosted an NBA Finals game. The result, a 116-107 Game 3 victory for the home team, and more importantly, a 2-1 series lead. Now, the Pacers were tied with the Houston Rockets for the fifth-best home record in the regular season at 29-12 in the playoffs. Now, Indy has only lost twice at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in 9 games. Merong kasabihan na role players perform better at home, and that was very evident in Game 3. Look at this. Indiana's bench outscored OKC's reserves, that's supposed to be 18 actually, 49-18. Now, if we break it down further, we will see that the team whose bench scores more has won every game in the series. Now, let's see if that trend will continue. Now, one player who provided a huge boost off the bench was 0-0 Benedict Mathurin. The 22-year-old third-year wingman erupted for a game-high 27 points in just 22 minutes of play. Let me put some emphasis on this. Benedict Mathurin, in his first NBA Finals, not only outscored the entire OKC bench, but scored more points than any player on either team in Game 3. Woo! Ngayon, balikan natin yung labanan ng dalawang star point guards dito sa Game 3. Nakabawi si Mr. Tyrese Haliburton. Isang rebound na lang at naka-triple-double na sana siya. Pero ang pinaka-importante dito, nakuha nila ang panalo at nalimitahan ang puntos ni SGA. Look at this. 38 in Game 1, 34 in Game 2, 24 lamang sa Game 3. At kung napapansin ninyo, hindi rin nakaagaw si Shea. Nakakagulat yan sapagkat nakaka 1.7 steal siya kada laro ngayong season. Kung tutuusin, Indiana gave OKC a taste of their own medicine in Game 3. The Thunder were the only team in the entire league this season to average at least 10 steals per game. Ito yung usual ng OKC. Ngayon, magpapatuloy ang serye bukas, June 14, Sabado. That's 8:30 a.m. Philippine time para sa Game 4 ng NBA Finals. Tinaguri ang bounce-back kings ang OKC ngayong season sapagkat 17-2 ang kanilang kartada pagkatapos makalasap ng talo. Maliban dito, liyamado pa rin ang Thunder sa forecast as they are 6-point favorites to win Game 4. Di bale, kung manunood si Caitlin Clark, baka swertehin ang Indiana. 8-0 ang Pacers with CC in attendance. Abangan natin yan. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. What does poach mean in pickleball? Poach means a player crosses into their partner's side of the court to intercept and hit a ball. This aggressive move is often used in doubles play to surprise opponents and take control of the point. Successful poaching requires sharp reflexes, good communication, and strategic positioning. It's a high-risk, high-reward tactic that can shift the momentum of a match. Know when to poach, and you will keep your opponents guessing. Now it's time for our off-court buzzer. Will he be the tallest monk? Victor Wembanyama has been spotted quite a number of times on his Shaolin journey in China. Now picture this. The 7'4" French phenom, head shaved, donning the robes of a monk, sitting amidst majestic Buddha sculptures. Victor Wembanyama isn't just visiting China for a vacation. He's on a journey of discipline and inner strength at the legendary Shaolin Temple in Zhengzhou, confirmed by the NBA China office and already going viral on social media. Wemby's transformation has fans worldwide buzzing, and the NBA's official Weibo even posted, "Concentrate on training," as photos of Wemby embracing Shaolin traditions begin to flood the internet. The San Antonio Spurs superstar is immersed in a 10-day Shaolin Temple experience in China, learning Kung Fu, meditation, and the ancient ways of Chinese medicine. And it doesn't end there. The Spurs' Rookie of the Year is expected to rejoin his team soon for the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. But for now, he's soaking in the wisdom of the Shaolin Masters, preparing mind, body, and spirit for the challenges ahead. Victor Wembanyama, a modern giant learning from ancient warriors. What a story. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 13th of June. Up next, joining us in the studio, multi-awarded photographer John Tronco, who has captured some of the most memorable images of Filipino conquerors of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. When we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. He is a photographer to royals, has been in the middle of the 2017 Marawi siege and has captured the images of Filipino conquerors of the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. Live here in the studio to talk about the thrills and perils of two of the most epic expeditions of Filipino mountaineers. Let's welcome to the BNC studio, Mr. John Tronco.
Hi, Ton.
John, thank you so much.
Hi.
Sir John, you have such a remarkable story which began way back in 1987. So we are
Yes.
talking about almost 40 years
Yes,
of
yes.
photography. Sir, can you please tell us how your journey began and how you developed this talent for capturing such historic and memorable images?
As far as the Everest is concerned, the first plan was 1980s. It was planned, but it never happened. So the 1990s Everest was still hard to go to there during the time of Reinhold Messner. So it's not easy to go there.
Yeah.
So eventually the group, Art and me and a few guys, Edwin, Gatcha, planned to come up with a team on the first 2006. So eventually it became sort of a race between GMA and ABS.
Yeah.
So that was the deal that time, and then there was a race.
Yeah.
So but eventually we won in a lot of ways.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a race between Romy and Leo and Pastor. Yeah.
So, Sir John, you mean to tell me, if this was in development back in the 80s when you started, natuloy lang kayo nung 2006. So we're talking about almost 20 years in the making.
Yes, because
Wow.
when I was based in the States at the time, and when we were planning, but he passed away. His name was Edwin Gatya.
Okay.
So he was like sort of the father of the mountaineering. Everybody knows him, the old guards.
Okay.
So that was the time. But eventually, since money was not easy, they called me to come up with like a sponsor. Sabi ko, it's not easy to do that. So eventually, 2006 came, and then everybody was happy. There were 3 guys went up.
Yeah.
Leo was the first, Pastor, and Romy.
Yeah.
And it was followed after that by the girls. Then I have all the records, the portraits, because that's the most important thing of all.
Okay.
The portraits are records. You can never,
Yeah.
records are records. A photograph. You can never come back after that.
Yeah, so when you take a photo, it's like you are capturing a piece of history.
Oh, yeah.
Something that people can always look back to and say, I was there.
Yeah.
And you know what they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. But I want to ask you personally, going up Mount Everest, I mean, it's not for everybody. Of course, you
No,
have to condition your mind,
Yeah.
the struggles, the challenges, the perils of going through this. Kayo po, personally, was this something you wanted to do, or were you
Yeah.
just tagging along for the ride?
No. Since I was high school, I really wanted to be a mountain photographer. But you know,
Wow.
when you're young, you have no money. So you want to move around all over the world and start shooting mountains.
Yeah.
But, we're all limited. As Filipinos, yung foreigners, they have all the access of the money. So, yeah. So, but there's a big difference between the old and the new. Geno and Miguel had a beautiful Conquer Day because they have all the social media. Before, wala eh, right?
Yeah.
So I was so happy. And then for them, and when PJ passed away, I was there on the other side of the mountain, and we all cried quietly.
Yeah.
You know, that was the day. That was the day of the Conquer Day when I heard Miguel went up already. So I made a short video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just kissed the flag. It's all about the flag, you know what, Anton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else. Bandila ng Pilipinas, kung saan, I mean, whoever represents it, it's yan.
Sir, ilan na po bang Pilipino ang nakaakyat dyan sa Mount Everest?
There's around 10 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
because...
ganun kakonti?
Yeah, ganun kakonti. Because, to be honest with you, expeditions are very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Helicopter, base camp, there are all helicopters all over, you know, rescue and everything. And then the cost of the food, the cost of the transportation is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And then the guides are so expensive. So,
You look like you're having a good time, though.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's Geno and Miguel, yeah. That's the base camp. Kakababa lang ayun, I was hugging him, Miguel. But I'm so happy for them. They're the new breed of mountaineers. Wala na, the old guards were slowly...
But you paved the way, sir. You showed them how it's done. Sir, I can only imagine, ano po bang feeling dyan? Kasi syempre, high altitude, and then I'm sure when you're up there, there's a little bit of doubt. Kaya ko ba to? Paano kung magutom ako or whatever? Ano yung mindset once you're up there?
I'm running the base camp, and then I was doing the documentary. So there were two sections. Geno and Miguel was hitting the upper part because you don't cross the Kumbu ice fall. You know, only the climbers can come. Can go up there.
Yeah.
On the lower part, I did all the back door, meaning to say all the time lapse and everything. So it's more of the creative and interviews. But we waited for Miguel and Geno when they came down.
Yeah.
And then that's the most important thing of all. They were totally wrecked. You know, pagod. Pero si Miguel was still strong. Geno was a little bit groggy, but talagang naghanap sila kaagad ng pagkain.
Sir, ano po ba yan? Kape? Is that tea?
Yeah. That's we made a video for Miguel because he got a full suit. So it was for him. I have to surrender that file to him.
Sir, may tanong po ako. Kasi 'di ba, merong kasabihan na everything tastes great on the plane. What about on the mountain? How does the food taste?
Yeah. I'm having hard time. But some people can really eat well the local food. But I'm having a hard time. I was sort of sick for 6 days. Biscuit and kwan lang kasi it takes time.
Yung appetite?
Appetite. Kasi hindi ako nag-acclimatize todo kaagad. Dumiretso kami sa base camp.
Wow.
Right agad eh.
Grabe.
I'm supposed to delay myself for 2 days, go down a little bit and go up. Pero nagkita kami sa Namche Bazaar. So this is a beautiful shot. See the flag?
Yeah.
That's Geno.
Awesome.
Oh, Geno, that's you. Yeah, that was for me, that was the most exciting part when he was waving the flag. Take off na sila eh.
Galing.
Going back to Manila na sila.
Sir, you have major experiences in your career in New York, Kingdom of Britain, and Marawi.
Bhutan.
Bhutan, sorry. How did these experiences help you with Everest, conquering Everest?
Well, I'm very lucky to have these projects. The first Kingdom of Bhutan, that was spectacular for me. I was with His Majesty himself, so I think it's destiny. Marawi was a different story. I was there, and then I recorded all the firefights and everything under our SRAA, sa kay Colonel Ilkley. So I was very lucky for that. And then this time, that's a beautiful shot of Marawi. Yeah, and that's me there. Yeah, and then Everest. So I'm very lucky to do both the Everest and the 2006 and the 2025
Grabe, that's like 19 years apart, sir.
Yes, but I made sure. I followed Jen and Miguel on the 2025.
You made sure to come back for the turnover, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, sir, again, we bring back that quote, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and this moment, when you look at this picture, you look at yourself, bumabalik pa ba yung mga emotions, yung mga feelings, yung mga alaala mo when you were over there in Marawi?
No, you have to separate kasi you're only documenting.
Yeah.
You have to separate the emotion and the fun. So, yun yung...
Hindi po ba kayo natakot or anything?
No, not really. Because you're there for a mission, you know? Yeah.
So talagang you stay locked in, just focus on the task at hand. Ganun yung mindset.
Talaga. Oo.
Okay.
Focus. Because the problem is the Marawi War was... that's the second most biggest war after World War II. So it got to be documented too. So,
Sir John, thank you so much for the time and sharing us all the stories. But of course, baka meron pong nanunood ngayon na may pangarap din to be able to capture such historic moments and, you know, conquering feats like this. You documenting everything that happens in Mount Everest. Maybe you have a message to aspiring photographers who want to have a career like yourself.
Well, sort of like, I'm sure everybody are good photographers, but on my part, I just chose not the easy part, you know.
The road less traveled.
Yes, exactly. Yun yung pinaka-importante. Yung people that doesn't want to document, I want to document kasi it got to be done in some way. So as far as photography is concerned, I'm just very lucky to have, at my age, to go up there with Geno and Miguel. And I'm very thankful of them too. They accepted me because it was a quick decision that I'll join their team.
Yeah.
And then please follow 14 Pics. Yan. Yeah, sina Geno. That's their one. Ako naman add-on ako sa kanila. But I have to give credit to all the climbers.
Yeah.
It's not easy to go up there. You literally die there. If kung hindi ka ready.
Yeah, that's why much respect to you, sir. Sir John Tronco, thank you so much for the
Okay,
time.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, Ton. Thank you for having me here.
Our
Thank
pleasure,
you.
sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Up next, this isn't a parade, it's a pressure cooker. The Pacers aren't dancing yet, and the Thunder haven't blinked. Game 4 is going to be a mental battle. Who digs in? Who cracks? Who claims control? We are about to find out. And this one right here could define the series. We'll break down game number 4 tomorrow. So you can keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. So let's go. Come on over here. Game number 4 tomorrow morning. OKC versus Indiana. You know the drill. Let's break it down. This is the 2025 NBA Finals, where every possession matters. The Pacers stay calm, and the Thunder, they stay dangerous. All right, let's get to it right here. We're 3 games deep in the NBA Finals, and it feels like both teams are towing the line between tension and trust. The Indiana Pacers, they're up 2-1, but they're not exactly throwing a parade, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, calm as ever. So welcome to the balance of power. This is the Game 4 forecast. Indiana's up, OKC is adjusting, and both teams saying the exact same thing without saying it. This thing is not over, okay? Tyrese Halliburton, he said it best. There's nothing to get excited about right now. And that's coming from the guy who hasn't taken a single free throw all series long. Not one. We're 3 games in, and he's racked up 109 minutes. You got to go back to 2012 for a finals guard with those numbers and 0 trips to the line. But let's not kid ourselves. The Pacers are where they are for a reason. Game 3 was about the bench. Benedict Mathurin dropping 27 in 22 minutes. PJ McConnell doing PJ McConnell things, steals, assists, hustle, and just making chaos look calculated. That's the thing. For all the talk about SGA being him, and he is, OKC needs the other guys to match that Indiana energy. Champion coach Rick Carlisle keeps hammering the same theme, grit. He said it straight up. Anything less than a total grit mindset, we just don't have a chance. And you know what? Hindi naman siya mali. The Thunder, they're not panicking though. Mark Daignault is ice. The team has bounced back from every loss this postseason. 6-0 after losses since April. 5-0 in the playoffs. This team does not swing. They reset and then they reload. Now here's your real hinge point. Game 4 decides the tone. A Thunder win and it's 2-2 of the next 3 in Oklahoma. A Pacers win and it's 3-1, and you do not want to be the team down 3-1. Historically speaking, that's curtains unless you have 2016 LeBron James on the team. Also, can we give a moment to Mr. Miles Turner? The dude was swatting shots of Chet Holmgren like a fly in crunch time before heading home sick. 5 blocks in Game 3. The Pacers say he's expected to play in Game 4. And if he does, that's a massive factor. This is the game that tells the story. Game 4 is where legacies pivot. The Thunder have been unshakable. The Pacers have been unbeatable after a loss. Something's gotta give because there might be 4 games left. And there might be 3. Stay ahead of the game as the battle for the NBA title heats up with high-stakes games. And here is your forecast for tomorrow's Game 4. And that wraps up our look ahead. The finals. It's about to get very interesting, but for one team, the clock is already ticking. Tune in, lock in, so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Now, before we go, think on this. From a role player to a playoff difference maker, Isaiah Hartenstein said, "We fight for each other. It's not always pretty, but it's grit and unity that pushes through the toughest games." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.